Showtime.
It's about that time.
Let's go.
You're right where you need to be. This is GCOM Radio.
Hardest radio station on the planet. Yeah.
Powered by Lyfeblood.com.
We certified.
And hosted by Nova Phoenix and LK Mason.
Give them that flavor.
Yes. This is Nova Phoenix. I'm your host of GCOM Radio. We are here once again to come with our own thoughts of what is going on around the world, man, and our topics. You know what we do. Of course, there's one person that's also missing. It's LK Mason. She is out because we're taking care of some business. I see her around. I see her doing her thing. Shout out to her. But yeah, man, just letting you know what we got going on for the week. What I got going on for the week. Everything was cool, man. Everything was like laying low, taking care of business, running with GCOM Radio, dealing with Lyfeblood, and thinking what we got going on for the future. It's almost we are at the halfway point of the new year, man. With 6 months blew by, man. 2019. It is June. By the time this come out, it'll be like June 6th or something. But yeah, we just started June, and it's still a little cool too, man. I don't know what's up with this weather. I went out last night just to make a quick run to the car. It was no, my bad. I went to the gym. I did a late night run at the gym, and I'm like, yo, it's really cool out here. It was like 8 o'clock at night, and I'm like, damn. But I don't know. I'm not like I want this blazing hot heat. Trust me. I'm a New Yorker through and through, but this blazing hot heat is not my thing. But it's not the heat. It's the humidity, man. You know that type of humidity where you in a New York train station in the middle of summer and you ain't doing nothing but standing there, and you can feel the sweat slowly dripping down the side of your body, and you like, where the hell is this train? Yo, that's the type of heat that I do not like in New York, man. It is not dry heat. What else is going on? I forgot this brother's name. I'm gonna look it up right now on my IG. I woke up and I'm like, yo, this dude, and I want to get his name right because he do deserve props. He just fought Anthony Joshua, the UK heavyweight champion, is anew. It's going to Anthony Ruiz Jr. That if that ain't a David and Goliath story, I don't know what is. Cause my brother hit me up and he was like, did you hear what happened? I'm like, what? I'm like falling asleep like 1 o'clock in the morning. He texts me. I'm like, what? I look it up online. I'm on my phone. I'm like, yo. So you do know that fight ain't happening, all right? It is not happening. With Wilder, that fight is not happening with Wilder no more, because it's a moot point now. One, because he lost the belt, right? But even if he were to win for a rematch, because I read up that he could get a rematch with Ruiz, and even if he was to get a rematch, it's like you just took out all the hype on what possibly could have been a great fight to watch with Wilder. It's like, why? It's gone now. It's gone. Anthony Joshua, sorry, bruh, pack it up. You did your run, you did your thing, but you go back to the UK. But now that whole idea of you fighting Wilder is over. It's tainted. It's done. You got beat by Ruiz. That nobody thought he was gonna defeat you. But yeah, man, that's nuts. What else went on? That's about it. I don't got nothing fantastical to share with y'all. Just want to do just a show and rock on. So I guess we get started. So thoughts on what is going on with cancer, man. Cancer is something else, and I was meaning to talk about this for a little bit now, because it did hit home once again. There was some people, a lady in my family that had a cancer scare, and it's sad. It's sad. She's from Canada, actually. It's from my extended family, and it was unexpected. She went for something else, and all of a sudden they said, "Oh, we see something, and it may be cancerous," and they got it out. They did surgery and they got it out. So, cancer is something else, because so many people are coming down with cancer, and I just can't see how we don't have a hold on this. And this is my own personal feeling about this. Cancer, the business of cancer is like, look, I say it like this. There is no money in a cure. Okay? There's no money in a cure. We know everything is big business. We know what it is, right? From music business to pharmaceuticals to oil to TVs to electronics to different types of technology. We know there's money in the game, and you want to make as much money as possible. There is even money in death. Okay, and the saying goes, there's no money in a cure. And we've been dealing with cancer for decades, and we can't seem to get an understanding of why it's affecting so many people. They say 1 person in 20 at some point got cancer, and today, now it's 1 person out of 3 that's getting cancer. And it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And there's a couple of different ways the way they treat cancer. They treat it with surgery, of course. They go in and remove the cancerous, what do you call it? Lumps. And there's radiation therapy. They just, throw a bunch of radiation at you. And then there's chemotherapy. They inject a treatment. It's an injectable treatment to kind of deal with that, to treat with drugs that treat the cancer, to kill the cancer cells. And with radiation and chemotherapy, it kills the cancer cells. But the thing is, it's kind of like swinging bats in a glass shop. It's not surgical or a pinpoint accuracy. It kills the cancer cells, but it also kills your body cells, the healthy cells. And that's why cancer patients, when they go through the treatment, they lose their hair, they look weak, tired, and that's your body dying. You know what I mean? And by using this methodology, they hope to eradicate the cancer cells, and you'll come out of it, you'll get your hair back and everything like that. So I know a couple of people with cancer, but I just can't seem to understand how we don't have a foothold on cancer. Again, because I see it as big business. They say the cancer industry is the most prosperous business in the United States. They say in 2014, 1.6 million people came down with new cancer diagnosis. They're saying in 2014, there's an estimated 1.6 million people that have come down with new cancer cases. Over, say, close to 600,000 people have died from it. $6 billion of taxpayer funding has gone through federal agencies for cancer research, such as the National Cancer Institute. And the medical cost for cancer is about like $125 billion. And it's on the rise to $173 billion by 2020. That is amazing. And the money that's being spent in order to deal with cancer, it's crazy. There was a documentary that came out in 2010. It's called Cut, Poison, Burn by filmmaker Wayne Chesler. And he was talking about the corruption in the business. I haven't seen it. I heard about it. I do want to see it. And it's just interesting, the multiple layers on all these players in the game, on how they surround treating cancer, and how there's a lot of money changing hands for the research to, different ways where you can treat it, the root cause of it, such and so forth. And this other doctor by the name of Thomas N. Seyfried, He has a book called Cancer as a Metabolic Disease. It was published in 2012. And he says, quote, no real progress has been made in the management of advanced or metastatic cancer for more than 40 years. In other words, cancer cells depend largely on glucose and glutamine metabolism for survival, growth, and proliferation. And the current path of drug company research will not lead to a cure for cancer, but will just perpetuate their multi-billion-dollar business model. And I'm not going to say I'm an expert on cancer, but I just see it's proliferating our society, and it is exploding. And everyone I know is coming down with it. And I can't see how the billions of dollars in here, we can't come to some sort of steps to deal with the root cause of why cancer is kind of happening in the human body. It's funny to say, there were some Egyptologists that dug up some mummies of, I guess they were pharaohs or some important figures of the time. And they did some tests, and they could not find any deaths that were caused by cancer. Nothing. They did the research on the bodies, did their, autopsies on it, and they didn't find any mummies whatsoever that died from cancer. Not to say that didn't happen, but it's just funny how, just playing a numbers game, how this just has to come up. So, in conclusion, some of these Egyptologists are saying that cancer was never really a huge issue, medical issue of the time. Again, this is an article that I read, and it's early research and the things that they were just pointing out. So now, fast forward to today, present time, everybody and their grandmother has cancer. A lot of people say it also deals with our lifestyle. And I kind of mentioned it in the show before, as far as a 40-hour work week, your doctor would tell you, oh, you're overweight, you need to do this, you need to go to the gym, you need to change your diet in order to lose weight, to deal with your hypertension, high blood pressure. But our lives in this society really is not conducive to be the best people that we can be health-wise. So it's funny with cancer, our society, the way it's set up, is not really conducive for us to eliminate the root causes of why cancer happens. Because again, with cancer research, or with cancer treatment, it's dealing with the removal of it after the fact, or treatment of it after the fact. We're not really dealing with the root causes of why cancer is so widespread in America. And there's this one dude, this one brother named Dr. Sebi. Everybody know Dr. Sebi. Everybody know Dr. I've been knowing Dr. Sebi for years. A lot of celebrities been dealing with him. It is controversial to say that Dr. Sebi makes his statements to say that he's eradicated cancer out of the many ailments that human beings are affected with by changing the diet. I'm not disagreeing with Dr. Sebi, and I'm not agreeing with Dr. Sebi, purely because of the fact that I'm trying to understand from a scientific basis, taking these alternative methods of dealing with cancer and putting it through like a scientific process. I'm not knocking it, but in order for us to really prove to the people that these alternative means are dealing with cancer in the proper way and efficiently eradicating cancer cells in the body, I say, okay, let's take them up on it, Dr. Sebi. Let's get a lab, or let's get like a control group of people, in the scientific means, in the R&D environment, and say, okay, let's use Dr. Sebi's methods of eradicating cancer treatment, feed it to mice or whatever the case might be, and see if it's true. Because a lot of people, I'm saying that because a lot of people are saying, oh, Dr. Sebi's right, they don't want these treatments to come out, they don't want the real truth to come out, so they burying Dr. Sebi. That's why they took him to court many years ago, but yeah, he won, so yeah. And then the opposite side is like, come on, it's fake, it's whatever. All right, let's put that aside. All right, for right now, let's deal with it from a scientific point of view. All right, let's take Dr. Sebi's his treatments or his methods on treating cancer by changing by means of pointing out the diet, and let's research it. Let's see what happens. And that's just Dr. Sebi, but other means. Like some of the alternative means that they're saying is, your body has to be more in an alkaline state. Cancer cells cannot thrive in an alkaline state of the body. It can't. Is that true? That's what they're being said. Some experts are saying our blood is already alkaline. It hovers around like a 7.5 or something like that. And if it becomes more alkaline, it could be damaging to the body. And it dips into being too acidic by introducing something that's extremely acidic, like, I don't know, hydrochloric acid or something like that. Of course, you're not going to give a human being hydrochloric acid or something that's extremely acidic. You'll kill the person. And you can also give heat, but cancer cells can't exist, as they say, the experts say, in 250 degrees Fahrenheit and heated conditions. Of course, you can't give that to a human being because then they'll die. So the only ways for right now is, surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation therapy. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's time for us to kind of step outside of the traditional means, as I said before, with the cancer research, and challenge Dr. Sebi, challenge other people that have alternative means of dealing with cancer. We need to see what we eat. That's a possibility, of course, as far as cancer. We eat plenty of more. Human beings today eat more processed foods than in any time in the past. Any time in the past. We go to the supermarket, we get packaged foods filled with different types of preservatives, and that could be rooted to cancer. The preservatives that they put in food could be rooted to cancer. We don't know. No one has done any testing in any scientific room to say, okay, are there links from the processed preservatives in food that we eat that are packaged that are leading to cancer? There has been no study that's been put out officially. It's funny. Again, this is how Lyfeblood can kind of come into play with this. All right. If we don't have any official bodies doing research on alternative means of eradicating cancer, again, this is how Lyfeblood could work. If you set up an institution that's a nonprofit that's saying, okay, these are the different methods that we have discovered or we're interested in to use against cancer or to use as treatments for cancer, and these are long studies. They may be so radical or to the industry, to the establishment, where they say, well, we're not going to fund that. I'm not talking about, putting anybody in danger, but I'm saying serious things where they might say, oh, that's hocus pocus, we're not really funding that. Okay, look, in a Lyfeblood sense, you could start a nonprofit or for-profit, whatever, in whatever entity that you want, and you can start it on Lyfeblood.com, promote it, campaign for it, ask for people to donate money, or whether it's $4 or $5 to the masses, and be funded through there. Keep get the you can get the facilities that you need, the equipment, get your lights on, everything like that. It could be very small, based in whatever part of America or somewhere in the world. You could be funded by the people, and then you can actually do the research and document it over a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 year period. And then whatever is best that can eradicate cancer, not either to replace the current means of how they're using it, or saying to folks, okay, listen, we found out the root cause of where the cancer is coming from, and this is our white paper on it, and we're going to introduce it, and we're going to get it out to the people. Because cancer is killing a lot of folks, man. It's killing more people than I think. Plane crashes, car crashes, other diseases. It is running rampant. I think it's killing more people than AIDS. We have to figure it out, because it's hitting home to friends that I have and family, and I don't think there's any organization that's really stepping outside of the box of how to deal with cancer, because we keep on going to the same thing. We keep on kind of defaulting back to the same, surgery, radiation therapy, chemotherapy. I think I think we need to kind of like, throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm not saying get rid of these methods, even though they're killing people in a sense. Sometimes people are blaming the therapy more than the actual cancer that people are afflicted with, and really start doing the real research on alternative means of cancer and telling the people the truth. Like, put out the white paper and say, this is the reason for cancer. Because a lot of times, the other conspiracy theory is they have the vial of the cure right on the shelf somewhere, but they're not going to give that up, because again, it will kill a multi-billion-dollar industry. And I think we got to start moving past a sense of making money. I think as I said before, we have to realize our humanity and deal with things that doesn't take profit over people. Because that's where we're at right now in society. Everything has a price tag. Doesn't matter. Hundreds of thousands of people can die. And if they can't pay for it, that's a simple reason, then so be it. I think that's where business has gotten to that point. Has business been here before in the past? I don't know. But I tell you what's happening now. So, that's my thoughts on cancer. Anyway, so the first, let's deal with this. The first artist, last episode we had Danni Baylor, and she actually played on the show before. And it was Scatterbrained. And it was a long time ago, but I thought I'd just play it again because it's such a great song. It's such a beautiful song. I think people should hear it again. But she has a new song that's out. The song's called Solid. And it's a solid song. So check out Danni Baylor with Solid. All right.
Sometimes you give me the blues, but I wouldn't have it any other way. And you make me choose all of my battles, which ones to win or lose. With a smile like yours, it's hard to tell when you are serious, but it's just enough to call my bluff. And when my world is crashing down, brick by brick, it can't be torn down, no. Through all of the ups and the downs, there's nothing like the wind. The way you're holding on to, it's bringing right back to you, and that is enough. I don't need the world, 'cause when it all comes crashing down,
It's GCOM Radio.
I am one of the flyers
On iHeartRadio.
Give me love. No, I can never ever get enough. Ain't no way they ever shaking us. Shaking us. The way you give me love. Oh, I can never really get enough. And in the way they ever shaking us. No shaking us, 'cause this love is solid, 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 solid. You know that this love
GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com. Come join, be a lifer. Practice dollar power and build financial independence.
Yeah, man, that was Danni Baylor with Solid, and it was solid. I like that song, man. I like that joint. I see her really doing some music with Lady Gaga. She has a really pop sound. It's not the typical R&B sound that you would hear, but it's very, it's bright, and it's just certain songs just transcend genres, and I think that is her direction, that's her purpose, and that's where she purposely feels that she should be. That's her pocket, and I think it works for her, and it's beautiful. I love that song, Solid. Yeah, so we're gonna get into the topic for the second segment, and we just start this. Yeah, so I never had an opportunity to really talk about this before because with LK, she's really not into anime, so I really can't get into the conversation about anime because I want to get some feedback, but whatever. Now I have an opportunity to talk about anime. I'm an anime fan, been watching anime for a long time. I have a few favorites. Yes, I have a few favorites. And I came to this topic because, doing my reading, and I see that, they got one of my favorites that's actually getting some headway on coming out. Guess what that one is? Akira. What? Yo, I'm telling you, that's a hot anime. It's a classic. I mean, from the topic or the storyline to the animation, especially animation. I love animation. Everything. It was just really, it was a mind rush, man. It was a mind rush what Akira was. And it's been talked about for a while for them to do a live action version. And I'm like watching, I'm like, what's going on? Are they going to do it? And it never really got traction. But now it's getting some headway. So guess who's directing it? Taika Waititi. And he's the director of Thor Ragnarok. And I love Thor Ragnarok. I loved it. This brother Waititi did his thing with Thor Ragnarok, so I can imagine what he can do with Akira. Now, I don't think it's gonna be jokey, of course. I think he has a knack for that by doing, slipping in comedy into movies. But of course, Akira is just a little bit. It's serious. It's a more of a serious take on a post-apocalyptic future, and I love that, man. So they're planning to do it. It's gonna come out May 21st, 2021, tentatively. Tentatively, I always get that word wrong. Tentatively, it's set for May 21st, 2001. They're gonna begin in production later on this year. And actually, Leonardo DiCaprio and Andrew Lazar is going to produce the film. So I'm interested who they're going to have in this film. They don't have anyone casted so far. And the movie will be based on Katsuhiro Otomo. I know the original guy that did the 1988 version. But the Katsuhiro Otomo 6-volume manga that they're gonna base the story on. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it. So that is the hotness that's coming out that I'm looking for. But you know what? I got some other animes that I feel, Japanimes, that needs to be turned into live action. All right. So let's just say that's number 5. All right. It's not no order of which is the best. I'm just saying, all right, I'll just put it as number 5 right now because I put it out there at first. The number 4 one to me that should deserve a live action turn in the theaters is Ninja Scroll. Yo, Ninja Scroll, man. Yo, that was heavy. Even when I saw it when I was younger, man. The content in there, I think, was way over me when I saw it at the time. But I saw it, and because there's some sex parts, there's some parts that could be that was rape. There was one part. Everybody knows that saw Ninja Scroll. There's a rape scene in there, and with the Rocky dude and the lady in the shed, and Yeah, so there was some heavy adult content in there that wasn't for my eyes, but I saw it anyway at the time. You know, how parents going to keep their kids from watching things that they shouldn't be watching. But I saw it was heavy though, and then the gore and the blood and the main protagonist. What was his name? I can't remember the dude's name. But Ninja Scroll, definitely, I thought that was a hot movie. It was crazy. I gotta see that again. I gotta see if I can find that. Number 3, the movie that should be come out, Cowboy Bebop. Now I heard this joint was actually being made. I don't know where they are at in the production or pre-production, whatever the case may be. But Jet Black, Spike Spiegel, Faye Valentine, Edward, and I think Ian, the dog name. I just like Cowboy Bebop. I can't even say, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen every episode of Cowboy Bebop. But for the ones I did see, I was really impressed, man. And I'm always into that bounty hunter, you know, space thing. Yeah, I gravitated towards that. I love what Cowboy Bebop was about, and it would be great for it to go to real life, man. It's kind of like a cartoon version of Blade Runner, if you think about it. Because Blade Runner kind of has that same, you know, bounty hunter looking for people off-world, you know. Even though Blade Runner mostly concentrated on Earth, they always said off-world. And that'd be interesting if they could do a Blade Runner that was off-world. Because, you know, the first Blade Runner with, what's the brother name? Harrison Ford, back in the day, they talked about off-world, and the replicant that before he died was talking about, you know, things you could have seen. Moonbeams off the shoulder of Orion. I thought that was just a hot line, a couple lines that he said right before he died. And then the recent one that came out too with Harrison Ford reprising the role as Deckard. They talk about off-world too. I'm like, where is off-world? But anyway, I segued off of that. But Cowboy Bebop would be hot to see live action. The other one that I like, of course, Dragon Ball Z. You know what I mean? Yo, Dragon Ball Z. Now, you know they did Dragon Ball Z already, all right? But it was superior trash. Let me see. I forgot the name. It was such a forgettable. It was such a forgettable live action joint, and they had some actors in there that, one actor in there I thought was heavily just underused. It was just terrible. Dragon Ball movie live action. Let me see. It's not even coming up in my first. You think that it was such a corny movie? It's not even. It doesn't even come up on Google. It doesn't even come up in Google. What was the name of that corny movie? Evolution. Dragon Ball Evolution. Oh, that movie. It came out in 2009. That movie was such trash. Oh my God. It was terrible. Terrible. Let me tell you something. I'm going to get to that in a second. I was about to say something, but I'm going to save one particular thought about Dragon Ball Z after I finish the last one. So they had a lot of, they had, what's his name? Oh my God. Full cast. Let me just forget the full cast here. See if I can get in there. Oh, Young Fat Chow. Oh, Chow Young Fat. My bad. Chow Young Fat. Love that dude. I think he's a great actor, but the director just destroyed that movie, and it was a waste of great talent. To be real, everybody else was forgettable. Yo, everybody else was forgettable. They was doing some corniness with Dragon Ball Z. There was no Kamehameha. There was no Super Saiyan. Was there? I don't even remember. They didn't have Chaozu, Yamcha, Gohan, Krillin, Piccolo. Did it have Piccolo? I don't even remember, man. It was so trash. I was like, really? The disrespect. Now, to tell you, Dragon Ball Z recently had a lot of fan-made joints. The fan-made Dragon Balls was exponentially better than this trash Evolution. please, if y'all want to see what Dragon Ball should really look like, go to YouTube and just put Dragon Ball Z. I think one of them was Light of Hope, and there was another one. I think there's 2 or 3 that were like, yo, you gotta give props to these fan-made Dragon Ball joints, because I'm like, if fans could spend their hard-earned money, $20,000, $25,000, whatever it costs to make a fan-made Dragon Ball Z, you mean to tell me a movie studio that has access to the resources and to the money, millions of dollars, could not get Dragon Ball right? Yeah, it was totally disrespect. Total disrespect. So I'll be looking forward to them to redo and do it right, Dragon Ball Z. Do it right. Do it kind of like in a vein of how Christopher Nolan did Batman with Christian Bale, where it was the realism in the setting, in the people, and it was a whole new spin on Batman, and everything that Batman was, that Christopher Nolan did it, that made it just took it to that level. They should do that with Dragon Ball, make it serious. Okay, so the last one. Let me see. The last joint that I think was heavily slept on. Classic. When I saw this movie, it moved my heart. And you know what it is, guys. It was another post-apocalyptic movie. Fist of the North Star. Yo! Fist of the North Star. Everyone involved, all the characters were standalone characters, can get their own spin-off side anime movie. The animation was like, it wasn't like super meticulous. It was just a different way they did the animation, the artistry. It was just different, and it was dope, and it was the whole thing with the story, with the dude. What was the dude's name? It was illustrated by Tetsuo Hara. That's crazy. But they did. It was more of a series. I didn't even know there was a series. As a matter of fact, I didn't know. I probably forgot. It went from 1983 to 88. And it was 245 chapters. And the main dude was Kenshiro, and this dude had this martial arts skill where he was going super fast with the touch techniques and making dudes explode. It was mad gory. This one dude that he fought, he tapped him up on his face, and somehow the dude kept his head from exploding. And the next time you saw the character, he had some kind of a leather band cage wrapped around his head to keep his head from exploding. And he carried that joint on to the rest of the car. And I thought that was so ill, because I was, my man was trying to keep himself from dying, keeping his health from just in a bloody splatter. And in his life, he put on this joint on his head. I thought that was kind of hot. That was hot. I'm telling you, Fist of the North Star is probably, if they want to do an anime directly to live action rendition, I think, to tell you the truth, even though as big as Dragon Ball Z is, Fist of the North Star has got to come first. All right, it's just. Man, it's, again, a reference that I can make to it is Blade Runner. Blade Runner, kind of like that in a live act. I'm telling you, it'd be crazy. Now, this is what I wanted to say with Dragon Ball Z, that with Fist of the North Star, and those are my top 5. Those are my top 5, y'all. So it's definitely gonna be with Akira, the Ninja Scrolls, Cowboy Bebop, Dragon Ball Z #2 and #1 is Fist of the North Star. All right. Please make the characters Asian. Please make the characters Asian. I swear to God, I'm tired of seeing, I'm gonna be honest, seeing white folk placed in these roles that are supposed to be Asian. Now, you're gonna say, well, they look white. You know, and these are, you know, Japanese people that are doing it. Yeah, no doubt. But that's just the influence of Europeans that came over, and, you know, it was, you know, their own. They were wrecking the culture and the society when they were stretching. They just didn't go into Africa and the islands and over in the Caribbean. They also wreck shop, and they dirt in Japan. All right, and it's that colonialism that's still the propaganda of European forms of beauty that still heavily influences the artists that do Japanimation, and you could see it in the cartoons. All right, all the dudes got wide eyes, and they're obviously white. Okay, that being said, we understand that, and that's a deeper conversation, but we understand that, right? We know they're Asian, so let's keep it real. Let's kind of reverse that thought process that's coming through the pen, all right, or however their animation. And when we do live action, yeah, make them Asian, man. Keep it real. Let's go and make them all Asian, all of them. Now, you want to mix it up and throw in a black dude, throw in a white dude, throw in an, I don't know, Middle Eastern dude, Indian dude, fine, whatever. But the core cast, when it comes to any of these animes, you gotta make them Asian. I don't want to see nothing else. And the other thing too, man, that's famous for Japanimes, all right, the abuse of women in these cartoons, how they're always hypersexualized in the positions that they would draw them in, and the breasts and the short skirts. Like, come on now, let's not, you know, Japanime is famous for that, and it happens now in Japanimations that are made today in 2019 and in the current modern, like 2015, 2016, 2017, 18. They still hypersexualize women. I just saw the latest Goku Super, or no, Goku with Broly, the return of Broly or something like that. I saw it. I was like, oh, this is hot. It was hot too. It was hot. But, you know, some of the positions they had, I think, Bulma in. I'm like, really? Come on, man. This is just, it's just in bad taste. So make them Asian and stop hypersexualizing the women. So that's my take on the anime that should come out in I'm messing with my cut. That should come out in real life in the movies. Anyway, let's move on to the next song. Shout out to this dude, Left Lane Didon. I don't know how I found this dude online, but it's tight. Left Lane Didon. It reminds me of old New York hip hop. It could be also a revitalization of that sound. But this dude's tight. And when I did the research, they got a whole discography. They got like, you know, 10, 12 different projects. And some of them are not like 10 songs, 12 songs, every project. Some of them are just 3 songs, 4 songs, 5 songs. But the sounds, I don't even know where they get these samples from. It was crazy. So this song that's coming is Left Lane Didon featuring Jay Nice. And the song is called Stephanie Mills. So check this out.
Oh man,
Check this out.
We're going in with another one.
It's on.
GCOM Radio.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, I cherish the moment. Verily, verily, buried me with reefer and roses. Yo, the 20s, this air is golden. Compared me to no one. My chair in midair, homes you barely quoted. That's apparently noted. Yo, I'm O'Shea made with boiled water. In other words, clearly I'm frozen. I pushed the limits. I was in the penalty box, it took a minute. My destiny's recipe cooked the spinach. Yo, I'm true to myself, hell. Ain't no toddlers in the back seat. When I say it's 2 in the belt, chill still. I'm getting DMs from Stephanie Mills. Janet Jack me, snap me, no cap, G, it's that deep. I'm tax free, addressing my soldiers like Addies. I'm flaxseed, the newest branch on the rap tree. Don't ask me, I'm less involved. You make the list, I'ma check it off. String around the pole, it ain't tetherball. Damn, I ain't stuntin', y'all. Come on, fam. Shit crazy. Fuck out of here, nigga. Yeah, P. Immobilize, get the money, that's well known. Immobilize, get the money, that's well known. Immobilize, get the money, that's well known. Shit.
Immobilize.
It's Flair. Hey yo, the God West craving the mic. Right. Jay is nice. I'm in the space like I'm in the best shape of my life. I play with white. Associate the weight with the price. I walk in a hostile situation, breaking the ice. I peep. We 330 degrees deep, seeking beef that we don't like. I'm Chief Keef with the street sweep. Up all night. Who needs sleep when life's like a dream? Night Supreme got dime freaks in the Jeep. Beat. Me and the Don gifted. LeBron spirit. In this game, man, I'm more of a Mac than John Mickens. Stop tripping. Got the pot bubbling, hot grits, but it's not for biscuits. It's niggas on the block that got shifts, clocks ticking. Yo, let the homies through. We in the VIP, the chosen few, but you ain't even sociable. You lost points choosing the phony crew. Use a disposable, can't blame nobody else. The proof is only you.
Mobilize, get the money, that's well known. Mobilize, get the money, that's well known. Mobilize, get the money, that's well known.
Come on, man. You know why niggas don't fuck with you, my nigga? Don't look in the mirror and stare at yourself, man. I bet a tear slowly form. We done coming down your bitch ass cheek, nigga. Word to Max, we the waviest. What that blunt at?
Sounding off around the world. You are listening to GCOM Radio.
Section's very similar to mine. Oh, bhaiya, easy for a minute. Are you Indian or Pakistani?
I'm Bengali. I started the wave. Johnny Tsunami. Doing the work. Scotty too hottie. This is a passion. This is way more than a hobby. I'm Bengali. I started the wave. Johnny Tsunami. Doing the work. Scotty too hottie. This is a passion. This is way more than a hobby. Work so hardcore, writing on cardboard. Rap Ozzy Osbourne, whether my bars form. I in the voice, Malcolm X to the March for. I in the violence, God needing a star for. Return of the man, part of the plan. They want me to pass the torch, have it burn in my hand. I was 11, inspired by chameleonaire, slumdog millionaire, and the billions here. Thankful for the food, my mom made me. Thankful for the road, my dad paid me. Thankful for the talent, which God gave me. Need to order restraining orders in order to restrain me. Showing Disney pride, that's the objective. Look into my eyes, see the world from my perspective. Me, myself, and I is the only ones that left with this rap poetry. My wingspan can exit. Why? I'm Bengali. I started the wave. Johnny Tsunami. Doing the work. Scotty too hottie. This is a passion. This is way more than a hobby. I'm Bengali. I started the wave. Johnny Tsunami. Doing the work. Scotty too hottie. This is a passion, this is way more than a hobby. There's things this world they didn't teach us yet, so none of y'all can't pass this teacher's test. In the rap game, you know this teacher's next. Where my dog's at, all of y'all this teacher's pet. Dead in the middle of Little Italy, little did he know we riddle to minimum. Who did it to diddly? God has given enemy along with multiplicity, not racially confused, I know my ethnicity. I'm a boss saying rap gun, hula balona. I'm a boss saying shabe tumi kichu janona. I'm the actor kalawa, kali lagi kobita. Toko mukuli, I'm the kichu bolina. I'm a fish out of water with iron gills. My words come together like ions bills. Step to hell, drill like another fire drill. I'm Bengali. I started the wave. Johnny Tsunami. Doing the work. Scotty too hottie. This is a passion. This is way more than a hobby. I'm Bengali. I started the wave. Johnny Tsunami. Doing the work. Scotty too hottie. This is a passion. This is way more than a hobby.
Yeah, man, that was Left Lane Didon featuring Jay Nice with Stephanie Mills. This brother is coming out of Delaware, man. Delaware is hot, man. I want to hear more from Delaware. That's what's up. And following right up behind Left Lane Didon, it's Vlimpse with the song Ami Bengali, coming out of Queens but repping his folks up in Bangladesh. My man is a master of science. Yes, he got his degree. He left rapping, but he came back and he's here doing it again. And it goes to tell you can do a lot of different things and master it. So big ups to him. And I'm waiting to hear more. Yeah, man. And before we continue into this third segment, we got to get into the news you need to know. Okay, let's get it started.
Ladies and gentlemen, around the world and right in your neighborhood, it's the news you need to know.
Large water reservoir found on Mars. Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter has been analyzing the red planet since 2006. Just recently, it discovered a huge volume of ice water on the planet. It has been located 1.2 miles below its northern ice cap. Researchers think that, if thawed, the ice water can cover most of Mars. The ice comes in layers mixed with sand, which is a treat for geologists. It can provide historical information from the changing environments on Mars over the thousands of years. The discovery is important, being that it's a difference between a viable Mars mission and a failed one. Logically, it would be better to harvest the water for future colonies as opposed to bringing it along on a planned trip. Apple's Developers Conference, beginning this past Monday, will move in a direction where the iPhone will no longer be the central product of choice to promote. Chief Executive Tim Cook and others will speak on updates to Apple OS and new apps. Apple Watches and other devices will be more independent from each other. iWatch's functionality detached from iPhones, iPads use reducing the need for laptops, focus on augmented reality tech, and personal health management. More details are iWatch adding an app store, new apps like a calculator, voice recorder, and messaging features. iPad will have enhancements to the home screen and use of multiple apps at once to satisfy more of your computer functionality. Augmented reality features will be added to the iPhone and iPad. iTunes is over. A new app will have music, TV, and podcasts on one app. And in terms of health, apps will be introduced to monitor your health, like menstrual cycles, pill reminders, better integration of hearing aid tech, and also a sleep mode. And that is the news you need to know. So anywho, the last segment of the show, what are we going to talk about? One thing that I've been noticing, I'm a big Netflix watcher. Big Netflix watcher, man. I like a lot of things that are coming on. But unfortunately, I heard that, not even heard. Well, put it like this. Watching a big thing, one of the couple shows that I watched religiously was the Marvel shows. Everybody knows they got kicked off, right? So it was first Daredevil, and then it was Luke Cage, and then it was Iron Fist, or whatever order it was. And the last one, I knew what was going to happen. Punisher was going to be done, and then it was going to be Jessica Jones. So now Jessica Jones, you see that they're starting to promote Jessica Jones, and it's going to be the last Marvel property on Netflix, and they're going to take that off, and it's going to go to Disney Plus. That's Disney's streaming service. So that got me upset, because I like all these shows. Now I'm not going to get them, and these shows are not going to come onto Disney Plus until 2021, 22, something like that. So, that upsets me. So, what's happening is, because of the big thing with Netflix, all these networks that had their shows on Netflix is pulling them off. It's like, why should we have our shows on your streaming service and we can have our own streaming service? It was an inevitability. It was going to happen, right? It was going to happen. And the upsetting thing is that now you got all these networks that's doing the same thing. So you got, besides Netflix, you got Hulu. Of course, we knew about Hulu. Hulu, right? Now Disney Plus, as I said before, you got the Disney Universe, you got CBS All Access, you got Apple TV Plus, you got HBO Now, you got YouTube TV, you got Sony PlayStation View, you got Sling TV, Amazon Prime, on and on and on and on. And I'm like, listen, I cut the cord so I could save money. I was paying, I think back when I was in Brooklyn, I was paying like $180 and $190 for the bundle, cable, TV, and phone. I was like, yo, this is way too much. This is way too much. So had to talk with the wife, and he was like, all right, we gonna cut this cable and we just gonna get internet TV. And I wasn't sure about it before. It was just everybody was doing it. And then finally, now I'm coming this far, it's like I don't even miss regular TV. Like I'm done with it. I most of my shows is on Netflix, Hulu, and DirecTV. Right? But now with all these networks doing this, everybody wants to have their own service, and they're like, we can do it too. And they want to keep more money. Now it's getting to be too much. I cut my cord for that very reason. All right. Now my internet, or everything that I pay for as far as my television is concerned, I have Netflix, Hulu, and DirecTV, and my internet service is like my internet is like $65. Netflix is $12. Hulu is I think Netflix is $13, Hulu is $12, and then DirecTV is like $20 or something like that, $25, something like that. So in total, I pay like $100 to $510, somewhere in that neighborhood, right? Roughly. That is a definite upgrade since what I was doing when I had Cablevision, right? And I was paying $190, $200. So I'm saving money. Now all these networks want to get in their hands in the game. And now each one of them are going to charge like $8, $9, $10. So, and it's not like they have a bunch of content. It's like one or two shows that I see that I'm interested in, but I'm not about to pay $8, $9, $10 for these streaming services just for one show. And it defeats the purpose of me cutting the cord in the first place. Now, all these streaming services I'm going to be paying for on top of my favorites, my joint's gonna jack back up to $200 some. Hell no, I ain't doing that. Nah, man, they can keep their shows. One of them shows that I love that is CBS All Access, and it had another twist on Star Trek. I'm a Star Trek fan. All right, I'm a Star Trek fan way back in the day, since Captain Kirk of the '60s. All right. Now I don't put on the pointy ears and dress up like Star Trek at these conventions. I don't do that. I just like watching the show. I like watching the movies, everything, Now, they got this new Star Trek. Not Star Trek, I have to say, Picard. That one, I was like, no. It was the one before, I forgot what it's, Discovery, I think, something like that. It's on CBS All Access. I'm like, oh, that's hot. But I ain't paying for it. I ain't paying that. They keep that joint. And then that got it with the Picard. It's getting out of control, man. It's getting out of control. I'm sorry. It's great for the companies, but for the people, nah, man. I want to keep my TV entertainment bill hovering around what I'm paying now, $100. I'll deal with that. I'm not paying no $220. And I'm not getting no streaming service for one show. The only streaming service that I would probably pick up right now is Disney Plus. You know why? Because they have so much content. They got so much content. They have all the Marvel, and they got all the Disney movies, anything, all the Disney properties, everything. So, and the reason why Disney works, because they just got so much content. That's why Netflix works. Because I will pay $12 for like 10,000 shows, but I'm not going to pay $8, $9 for just one show that I want to watch on some random streaming service. I'm not going to do it. Disney is the only one I would do. And DC got my eye, but I'm like, nah, still not enough content. It's got to really dazzle me. So they're saying on these articles what's going to happen now is that because it's already saturated with all these streaming service channels, that they're going to do this thing called, they're going to bundle them. So they're going to package like CBS All Access, DC, and Apple TV and put them in there. But that was That was what was Netflix. Now it's like we're gonna do that, and it's great. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, bundle, great. Then I'll think about it. For $10, I want to see like 5-6 shows. But then, that was fine on Netflix. And I'm sure the Netflix executives was a little paranoid. They were a little paranoid when Marvel started pulling all the product like off the platform. And then they started getting nervous when CBS was doing it. But now, if I was a Netflix executive, I would just be like, greedy motherfuckers. Because now everybody's in on it. You know what the people are thinking. You just got to ask them. Nobody is going to get 10, 12 different streaming services. Especially, as I said before, if they came off of cutting the cord. So now they're going to do this bundle joint where now you can see all these shows. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be it's a very competitive landscape, man. And I think the ones that are gonna come out on top are the ones that have the most content, the most recognizable brand that's in people's faces. Netflix is always gonna be there. Netflix is like the Tesla of streaming channels. They started out, they were ahead of the curve. They're pumping out product or pumping out shows, content. People will always stay with Netflix. I will always stay with Netflix. But Disney Plus is the next one. Hulu could work, possibly. But everything else, nah, man. Everything else is like luxury. Nah, that's all right. I'll pass. Like one hot show that I really want to see, that Swamp Thing on DC. Hot. Heard it was good too. Am I going to get DC streaming service? More than likely not doing it. Yeah, this is just too much. Just greedy, man. There's a lot of networks that's just being greedy. So anyway, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate all you guys and gals listening to a brother on GCOM Radio. Please go to Lyfeblood, man. So just the last note, as you said from my news you need to know, Apple is dead in iTunes. I said that a long time ago. This is a place where you could try different things. I heard Tyrese was talking about, he know it's coming. A lot of people know it's coming. You know music streaming don't pay artists, right? You know they don't pay artists. It works out for the company and it works out for the people listening to the music. But for the artists, they getting shafted. You know how much I talked about on the previous show and I broke down the numbers. Either there's going to have to be another company that's going to do what iTunes did and just replace them, or we're going to have to think of alternative means to figure out how we can get, as far as artists wise, because I always support artists. I was one before, how artists can be properly compensated. And I think Lyfeblood could be one of them, where you could upload your music up on your profile, ask people for a certain amount, say for $4 or $5, and then they pay it. Your music becomes available to them. They download it, they put it on their library, wherever they want to put it, however they listen to it, and they pay you monthly. And you only could do it for a length of, say, like a promotion. It's like you're touring for 8 months. See if you could get $3 or $4 from them. And then after that, you could just bring it back down to $1, and people can, pay you $1 a month as the artist that they like, So if you got 5 million dedicated fans, imagine them just giving you $1 just so they can see you succeed, right? We have to think of alternative ways to compensate artists financially. It's a new day, man. And they're trying to push this music streaming like it's the newfangled, new technology. Yeah, and it's like a circus with the clowns in the front. Whatever the Barnum and Bailey music. I forgot it. And they're going to try to push it off to people like, oh, this is the new thing now. It's not, man. It's raping artists, man. So anyway, go to Lyfeblood.com, sign up, be a lifer. It's more than just music, but I thought it was a great opportunity to provide an alternative. It's called a Music Life feature. And check it out, be a part of it, and let's grow this community. It's a group economics on a global scale of what we're trying to bring. Thank you guys for listening. See you next week. All right, later.